The year is 2142. Somewhere in deep space, a Wanyutani drone intercepts the drifting wreckage of the spaceship USCSS Nostromo. Later, a team of specialists begins an investigation, discovering a laboratory inside the wreck, housing a xenomorph in a fetal position. Meanwhile, on the star colony Jackson Star, a young woman named Rain Carine is awakened by an alarm calling her to work in the mines. During breakfast, her adopted brother Andy tries to lift her spirits, hoping they can eventually afford to leave the planet and move to Iga, a place with better living conditions. Rain heads to the colony office, having met her mining quota, and hoping to resign. However, the office worker denies her request, informing her that the quota has been increased. Just then, Rain notices a gang of thugs attacking her brother. Rushing to defend him, it's revealed that Andy is a synthetic human. Rain resets him, and he regains consciousness. Shortly after, Rain's ex-boyfriend Tyler contacts her, offering a profitable deal. Though suspicious of his motives, she agrees to meet him. At the outskirts of town, Rain boards Tyler's space tug Corbalin, where she is greeted by his crew. His cousin Bjorn, Bjorn's girlfriend Navarro, and Tyler's sister Kay. The group explains that they discovered an abandoned spaceship orbiting the planet. They believe the ship holds cryo-chambers that could allow them to escape to Iga. Having long surpassed their quotas, they are desperate to leave, but the planet's administration won't let them go. They need Andy to interact with the ship's computer systems, and Tyler manipulates Rain into joining, reminding her that she has no future on the colony otherwise. As they fly to the derelict ship, Bjorn constantly mocks Andy, but the synthetic remains unfazed. Rain, however, is annoyed by Bjorn's hostility. Soon, the group arrives at the space object, a decommissioned outpost stuck in orbit. However, they discover that the station is falling towards the planet's rings and will collide in 36 hours. Despite Rain's concerns, Andy is determined to proceed, driven by a directive written by Rain's father, to protect her at all costs. The tug docks with the station, and Andy's signal easily opens the airlock. As Tyler, Bjorn, and Andy board the station, they follow their scanners toward the cryo chambers. Gravity is unstable, but the ship's systems power up, restoring the oxygen supply. When they finally reach the capsules, they find them intact, but there isn't enough cryofuel to get them all to Iga. However, they detect another, larger cryochamber elsewhere on the ship that should contain enough fuel. As the group moves forward, Rain learns the reason behind Bjorn's hatred of synthetics. During an accident in the mines, a synthetic left his injured mother behind, which led to her death. Meanwhile, Kay reveals to Rain that she is pregnant. As tensions rise, Bjorn reveals to Andy that they only need him for the initial stage of their plan, intending to abandon him on the ship once they're done. Rain overhears this and is heartbroken, unable to tell Andy the truth. As they explore further, the crew realizes that the station wasn't decommissioned, but was simply abandoned. Bjorn finds an electric whip and continues to bully Andy until Andy saves him from falling into a massive hole, where they spot the half-destroyed body of a ship's synthetic. Soon after, the group finds the large cryochamber and begins extracting fuel from it, but they accidentally trigger an automatic isolation sequence, locking them inside the dangerous room. For some reason, the lockdown doesn't respond to Andy's commands, hinting at a deeper threat. Rain and Navarro rush to the ship to save the men. Rain decides to remove the chip from the damaged synthetic they found earlier, hoping to connect it to Andy's brain to give him full control over the station. While Rain works on the chip, Navarro admires the ship's advanced technology. Suddenly, the damaged synthetic grabs Rain's hand, pulling her toward danger, and only Navarro's quick action saves her from harm. The group eventually finds the men and hands the chip to Tyler, who installs it into Andy. As Andy reboots, he freezes, momentarily glimpsing strange creatures seated inside the ship. Meanwhile, Bjorn stumbles upon bizarre bioorbs in a nearby half-flooded chamber, but doesn't have time to investigate further, as he is suddenly attacked by invisible creatures in the water. Tyler tries to assist, but he too is attacked, this time by a facehugger. Andy completes his reboot, just in time to save Bjorn. The group tries to flee, but the facehuggers quickly break through the doors, and one latches onto Navarro's face. To everyone's surprise, Andy begins explaining the creature's behavior in detail, as if he suddenly possesses scientific knowledge. Rain quickly realizes it's because of the chip, but before she can process this, Andy refuses to follow her commands. It becomes clear that the chip fixed bugs in his programming, but also canceled his mission to serve her. Determined to save Navarro, Andy activates a damaged synthetic scientist named Rook, who explains that the station's personnel were killed by these same creatures, and Navarro is beyond saving. The facehugger has already implanted a parasite in her, which will merge with her DNA, allowing a xenomorph to grow inside her. Rook shows them a preserved specimen in the lab, and shares the story of how humans first encountered the species 20 years ago. Only one woman survived, managing to throw the creature into an airlock. When the company learned about this, they began searching for the xenomorph, believing it had died in space. But in reality, the creature was merely asleep. Rain suggests freezing the facehugger's tail with cryofuel. The plan works and Navarro regains consciousness, but Rook warns that the creature likely already finished its mission. He advises against letting Navarro back onto the tug. Despite the warning, Bjorn takes her aboard the Corbelan, leaving Andy, Tyler, and Rain behind. As the tug detaches, Kay wakes up, confused about the situation, but soon Navarro starts feeling unwell. Kay tries to help, but a xenomorph bursts from Navarro's chest, killing her. The Corbelan crashes into the hangar of the Romulus section, throwing the station off balance, and setting it on a collision course with Jackson's planetary rings. Rain, Andy, and Tyler race to the hangar to try to save their friends and escape on the tug. Meanwhile, Rook heads to the command center to communicate with the ship's motherboard. As Tyler and Rain navigate through the station, they encounter more creatures swarming the corridors. Andy deduces that the facehuggers can't see, but they can detect human body heat, meaning the group needs to raise the air temperature to 36.6 degrees Celsius and stay very quiet to pass by unnoticed. As the pair proceeds with this plan, Kay escapes the Corbelan and runs into Bjorn. Together, they attempt to flee, but the passage is now covered in xenomorph cocoons, signaling that the creatures are metamorphosing into their adult forms. Bjorn tries to destroy one with an electric whip, and initially it seems to work. However, he becomes transfixed by the creature's acidic blood, which effortlessly melts through metal barriers. His fascination proves fatal as a xenomorph sprays him with acid, killing him as his body disintegrates from the corrosive fluid. Kay reaches a door but is unable to open it. Meanwhile, Tyler and Rain try to help, but they are attacked by facehuggers and forced to flee. Andy seals the door behind them, trapping Kay inside. Despite Tyler's desperate pleas, Andy refuses to open the hangar door. The group watches helplessly as a xenomorph attacks Kay and drags her deeper into the station. After the initial shock, Rain realizes that Andy's behavior has changed. He now follows a new directive to act in the company's best interest. She understands that they need to remove the chip to regain control. Andy, however, orders everyone to leave, assuring them that he will help them escape, but must return to Jackson afterward to fulfill his new mission. Andy leads Rain and Tyler to the laboratory, where Rook explains that the station had discovered a unique substance meant to help humanity evolve into perfect beings, capable of colonizing the universe. This substance, considered a divine gift, contains a genome responsible for the xenomorph's ability to control their metabolism, which can be rewritten into human DNA through blood, allowing humanity to evolve instantly. Andy finds a capsule of black liquid, now tasked with delivering the sample to the colony. He arms the pair, warning them not to use the weapons unless absolutely necessary, as the xenomorph's acidic blood could easily burn through the ship's hull. As the group makes their way to the tug, they discover a massive incubator of creatures. Suddenly, Tyler hears Kay's voice and rushes to find her, forcing Rain to follow. They soon find Kay, still alive but cocooned by the xenomorph. Andy suggests injecting Kay with the black liquid, but Rain opposes the idea, proposing instead to place Kay in a cryo chamber and let Earth's doctors save her. Just then, a xenomorph attacks, dragging Tyler away. Andy freezes, leaving Rain to drag Kay to the lift and seal the doors. As they part, Rain exchanges a farewell glance with Andy and realizes she can't leave him behind. She sends Kay to the tug, explaining how to handle the sample capsule, and returns to Andy. She removes the extra chip from his brain, restoring him to his original behavior. The creatures begin to activate, and Rain asks Rook to open the doors, but he refuses to risk the station. Andy's access codes are also blocked. Meanwhile, Kay reaches the Corbelan, where she hears Rook's call to transfer control to him so he can bring her to the colony. Believing the black liquid will heal her wounds and protect her unborn child, Kay injects herself with it. At the same time, Rain disables the artificial gravity on the station to shoot down attacking xenomorphs, and she and Andy make their way to the lift, dodging flying splatters of acidic blood. When gravity is restored, Rain loses her weapon and falls into an elevator shaft where a xenomorph intercepts her. The acidic blood begins burning through the ship's metal, and Andy can no longer hold the lift, which falls, smashing the xenomorph but leaving Rain clinging to the shaft wall. A new monster appears but is killed by Andy, who arrives with a new weapon. As a warning about the station's imminent collision sounds, the pair rushes to the tug, which falls under the control of the mothership just before the station crashes into the rings, destroying it along with Rook. Rain stops the Corbelan and informs Andy that their plans have changed. They're heading to Iaga. Suddenly, alarming signals come from Kay's capsule. Rain rushes to it and finds Kay giving birth to an egg from which a mutant xenomorph hatches. Rain ejects the egg into a cargo capsule, arms herself, and descends to finish off the creature. But the mutant has already grown and broken free, using Kay's body as sustenance. Hearing Kay's screams, Rain rushes to help, only to find Andy wounded by the monster. She barely manages to witness the xenomorph kill Kay and escapes into the transition chamber, where she dons a spacesuit. Luring the xenomorph into the cargo hold, Rain ejects it into space as the tug lands on the surface of the ring. The xenomorph grabs hold of her, nearly smashing her helmet's visor, but Rain manages to break free and climb back aboard the ship. Later, Rain places Andy in one of the stasis chambers. Before going into cryosleep herself, she contemplates their future on Iaga. The film ends on a somber but hopeful note, a worthy entry into the Alien franchise. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.